Howdy there guys, welcome back to Edgar TV Pro Tour Roundup number 4 for the year. There's 30 to do and I'm going to cover them all and give you all the stories and put the meat on top of the bones of the results and everything you're seeing in regards to these tables. We're going to get straight into it today and we're going to have a look through because there's a lot of stories here in the early part of this tournament. Stephen Bunting going out 6-3 to Jitsi van der Wal. I think that is a surprising result, but what's more surprising for me is Stephen Bunting, since winning that Masters title, has played 4 Pro Tour events. He has won just one game, that being against Josh Payne. He lost to Dom Taylor, who was on debut. He lost to Martin Luitman. He's lost to Jermaine Wattimena. Now to Van der Wal. It's not like, you know, when someone wins a title, they go two ways, don't they? They either drop off a little bit or the floodgates open, as they say, like with Luke Humphries, who went on to win title after title. That doesn't seem to be the case at the moment for Stephen Bunting, and he'll be hoping that his season can turn around quite quick. Luke Littler crashes out at the first round for the first time on the Pro Tour. It's going to happen. Took on seed in James Wade. That's no surprise. What surprises me is the fact that the sort of media, the news articles out there saying shock result, it's James Wade, one of the most successful players in the history of the PDC. That's not a shock or a surprise. Luke Littler went off to play some FIFA. He put that on his social media. Leighton Bennett's had a great start to the season. He goes down 6-5 to Peter Wright, who is beginning to rediscover form. Gary Anderson, someone who's been in incredible form as of late, but he's not going to be going far in this one. A defeat to Scott Williams, the World Championship semi-finalist. He goes through averaging nearly 100. Gary Anderson go out with 105. Seems the way to beat Gary Anderson is you're going to just have to be absolute sheer quality. Sheer quality is where Steve Lennon's been since rediscovering that tour card. He lost that. And Raymond van Barneveld talked about this before. I'm someone who lost a card and went back. You sort of, it becomes a bit easier when you're not defending prize money as such, and it's just all about gaining. And that's where he is now. He can just sort of free roll and enjoy himself. Jelle Klassen's not enjoying himself on his return to the Pro Tour. He is one of the players that have yet to pick up a victory and are still on the zero. Mervyn King, somebody who needs a bit of a good season. He's outside by a wire at the minute in regards to that tour card race, keeping hold of his tour card, staying in the top 64. Could be a year on the seniors if Mervyn King's not careful. But just look at the players who could be on the seniors next year. Steve Beaton, Ian White, Mensa Suljovic, Ronnie Hybrex, all could get a place on the seniors tour next year. Daryl Pilgrim, he got a late call up. He's going to feel harshly treated. 94 there, he did 95 yesterday. No victories for him. So it's just the brutal nature sometimes of what the tour can be. Tell that as well to Cameron Menzies, 101 average for him, losing out to Gerwyn Price. Dave Chisnell picked up his first victory of the season today. That was one I put out on Twitter. I said, give me your hot takes for the day. What's going to happen? I said, I think Chizzy gets his first win on the board. He did get that today, so he'll be happy to be up and running. We'll see if that now opens the floodgates in regards to his day. The Bartons had a good day yesterday against Michael van Gerwen, but didn't get the result. Picks it up today, so another £1,000 minimum going to him. And also Alan Suter, another player who's in need of a big season. He's in need of getting a bit of a run going. He's currently just one place outside on that tour card race, so needs to get himself into that World Championship. We'll follow his story throughout the year. But the story of the season so far has been Ryan Searle, and he's doing it again here. Event number 4, the way the draw's looking as well, I think it could open up for him. I think it could be another day here for Ryan Searle, because you look here, he's on board 16. You got Chris Landman, Paul Crahony, I'm sorry, I'm murdering names, I know, I'm not very good at them. Jose de Souza, the other seed on the board, has gone out. Marion van der Bogard also on the board. So I'd be surprised if Ryan Searle doesn't come through that board. And then when you look ahead to board number 15, Brendan Dolan, tricky player to play. Barry Van Peer, Ronnie Hybrex, that's a 50-50 game. Alan Suter, he's got through, but he's not played well. I think this is going to really open up again here for Ryan Searle. Round 2, an absolutely ridiculous standard as well. 32 matches, 64 players, and half of them was won with averages of 95 or more. These were the players that managed to average over 100 in that round. Ridiculous level of play. Dirk van Dijvenbode has been struggling a lot recently, so it's great to see him with a 6-1 victory here over Daniel Closer of Germany. 105, that's 2 days in a row now he's put in a good performance, so he's got to be happy with that. Signs that it's starting to turn for him, and maybe he's not the pushover people thought he was going to be, certainly as a seeded player. Van Veen was a 6-1 victory over Matty Dennett. Chris Dobie 6-1 over fellow Newcastleian. Is that a word? Newcastleian? Callum Ridds. 6-4 for MVG over Graham Hall. Barneveld was a 6-2 over Adam Smith-Neal, who averaged 101 himself. And once again on this list, Ryan Searle, 6-4 victory over Chris Landman, despite the fact there was 16 points average difference. Chris Landman only averaging 85, but managed to keep tabs with Ryan Searle throughout the game. Stories, stories, stories. They are absolutely everywhere in the round of 32. Let's pick some of them out and put some meat onto the bones. Dave Chisnell got his first win on the Pro Tour today at the attempt number 4. He's through to the last 16. Peter Wright picks up another win. Not quite as good in regards to his average, shall we say. 6-2 win though over Stephen Burton gets him going the right way. Scott Williams looks like his season's up and running. Dirk van Dijvenbode, another win for him, moves him to the last 16. It's been a great weekend for him. Michael van Gerwen going down 6-0 to Chris Dobie. That is a bit of a tonkin. Christian Perez, who's been struggling last year to get a visa, gets it this year, and he's making up for lost time. A 6-1 win puts him into the last 16 and picks him up some sizable prize money as well. Van Barneveld making a bit of a resurgence. Ryan Searle continuing to just hammer people at the moment and blow them aside. So loads of stories everywhere, but look at that from Jim Williams. I expect big things of Jim Williams this year. I think he's going to reach the top 32, and with darts like that, well, it's a match for anyone. 104 there for Ratajski. Not good enough, though, against Jim today. So if you're wondering, can Ryan Searle get beat in 2024 in a Pro Tour event? It's happened. He's lost. He's gone out. He's lost in the round of 16. He's lost to Brendan Dolan, who, if you remember my videos, I've actually mentioned before, he is one of the hardest dart players to play on the planet. I'll put that video on the end screen for you. Dart players that are hard to play and all the reasons as to why they are. Brendan Dolan, though, did beat Ryan Searle, despite the fact Ryan Searle putting in a great performance. He averaged 109 in defeat there to Brendan Dolan, but Dolan goes through with a 6-5 victory. There's more stories. Gerwyn Price going out 6-4 to Christian Perez. We've mentioned him in the last round, and he now is starting to stand out, making up for lost time, get to a quarter-final. He had a good run when he went to the Germany one last year, so could he keep hold of that tour card? He's got to do 2 years work in a year, but I tell you what, with runs like this, that's certainly possible. This is the story for me, though. Gian van Veen losing with 102 average to Dirk van Dijvenbode, who averaged 106. I think at this point, after the weekend that Dirk's had, and after an average like this, in a great game like that against Gian van Veen, it is time to start forgetting about the recent troubles of Dirk van Dijvenbode and say he is back on form, just like Peter Wright. 6-2 victory for him against Dave Chisnell. Again makes the quarterfinals of the Pro Tour. Let's see how he gets on Thursday night, but could still be winning this one. And he is well and truly in the mix. Semi-final again here for Peter Wright. That form has changed. We can't write him off anymore. Peter Wright is to be taken serious. Christian Perez to be taken serious. He's in a semi-final. That ranking money's going to do him good. It's going to put him into the top 96 now, which means he's not going to have to play the first round when it comes round to Minehead and the UK Open. Semi-finalist here on the Players' Championship guarantees him £5,000, so a very handy payday here for Perez. Dirk van Dijvenbode reaching the quarterfinals. He's gone out to Chris Dobie. The damage was done early there for Dirk. It was a slow start. He went 4-0 down. Was never really going to turn that around. But £3,500 for him is good considering what he is now going to have to go and defend. But Christian Perez got to be the story of the round. The man who couldn't get a visa to play in the events last year. Could he be possibly the most unlucky player? If he doesn't go and retain his card, he could be the most unlucky player going. Because every time he seems to be on the tour, he's doing bits, he's getting results. However, don't write it off yet, because obviously don't forget now he'll be in a good position this early to be in things like Minehead, the Players' Championships. He could have a run at the UK Open in a couple of weeks' time. We've got 26 more events. You've got European tours. If he makes the Worlds, I'm going to call this now. Christian Perez keeps his tour card. So a good chunk of prize money there on the board for Christian Perez, but it won't be a win. He's gone down 7-2 in the semi-finals, but it is a big victory for him today in regards to the order of merit. So players from position 97, which is Leighton Bennett, or there is joint 96, it's done on the countback rule. So Leighton Bennett down, these players will be coming in at round 1 of the UK Open. Round 2, Randy Bartons is going to make that. James Hurrell, Barry Van Peer, Steve Lennon, people that picked up their tour card this year. Really good to see him go straight in the 96. They're going to be coming in at the second round stage of the UK Open. The third round stage is for players 64 to 33. That means Richard Veenstra down. They'll be coming in at round 2. And look at some of the names that's going to be coming in at the UK Open when you look at that third round stage. The third round's going to see people like Callan Ridds, Gian Van Veen, Alan Suter, Simon Whitlock, Steve Beaton. And then from there, all those winners, 32 players, they will go into a pool for the live open draw with the top 32 players in the world as well. So lots to be had there. If you're not familiar with the UK Open, don't worry, I'll talk you through everything you need to know. But here's just confirmation of that semi-final result. The Chris Dobey, Peter Wright game, that was sort of just a hold of throw-a-thon. There was a little bit of early exchange when it was 2 apiece, both players having a break, and then that was just it. Hold a throw, hold a throw, hold a throw, all the way through. And that sets us up our final between Chris Dobey and Damon Heta. And it was, in fact, Damon Heta who picked up the title. An 8-4 victory for Damon Heta, despite the 106 from Chris Dobey. Damon Heta last year picked up 2 titles, one of which was actually in Leicester, that being Pro Tour number 16. He picked up 14 and 16 and ended the year incredibly well, Damon Heta. A final in Pro Tour 28, a semi in 29 and a semi in number 30. In regards to the sort of rankings, not too much movement here. Both players in the top 16, but we know with those rule changes of things like the European tours and the qualification that gets you into things like the match play, the Grand Prix, the seedings, everything that comes with that, we'll know that this is a big result again for Damon Heta. And for Chris Dobey, £10,000 for him not to be sniffed at. Great start to the season for those at the top end. But things are going to get shaken up this year. I keep saying that. Let me know down in the comments section below what you think are the key talking points of the day. What stories have you picked out? These are just the ones I picked out. Let me know down below where your attention has been today. Hit a like and a subscribe on your way past. These reports will be back in March, mid-March, the 18th, when the PDC Pro Tour resumes for number 5 and 6, when the Pro Tour rocks up in Germany. But lots of other darts content to be coming along the way, and lots more things to be covered, including that UK Open, the next big TV ranked event. Catch you soon, guys, for some more Edgar TV.